Anthony Weiner was sexting shows her face for the first time, people are surprised. The 15-year-old girl that was sexually harassed by Anthony Weiner decided to come forward and reveal her face for the first time. And people are surprised. She told her side of the story. Although she showed her face, she kept her name a secret. "I just sent him a nice message, 'Hello, I'm a huge fan,' she said." "How soon after did he respond?" asked Inside Edition's Diana McInerney in an interview. "Minutes," she responded. She went on to explain that his closeness to Hillary Clinton is what attracted her to him. "I knew that Hillary Clinton would be running for president in the year 2016. I wanted to see if Anthony was still up to the same antics," she said. She went on to describe how he immediately tried to make the relationship sexual. "He called me attractive," she said. Other messages he sent her included, "You are kinda gorgeous, your body is pretty insane, and I thought about you this AM." There were many others that Insider Edition said were too inappropriate to show. "I knew that it was going downhill really fast," she said. Then Weiner started to send her shirtless pictures. "I was disgusted. That's part of the reason I came forward," she said. The full interview airs on Monday. But you can check out the preview below. They should be sent back. Two-faced Hillary just caught on tape saying illegals have to go. Two-time failed Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton always says what she thinks will make her more popular and get her support. This strategy clearly backfired on her, given how she ended up losing two election contests that many people thought were hers to lose. After former President Barack Obama signed his executive order creating the DACA program, Hillary saw it as an opportunity to latch onto his coattails, writing on Twitter in 2015, "While the GOP focuses on vilifying immigrants, Hillary will fight to protect DACA, DAPA and pass comprehensive immigration reform." She then added lamely, "Thanks to Dreamers' courage and resolve, DACA has allowed thousands of young people to contribute to our society. We're better for it." However, just the previous year Hillary told a conflicting story when she obviously thought she could get more votes by spreading a very different message. In a recently resurfaced interview with CNN, Clinton says why child illegals should be sent back. Said Hillary to interviewer Christiana Amanpour, "We have to send a clear message, just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child gets to stay. So, we don't want to send a message that is contrary to our laws or will encourage more children to make that dangerous journey." Asked Christiane, "So, you're saying they should be sent back now?" Hillary answered, "Well, they should be sent back as soon as it can be determined who responsible adults and their families are, because there are concerns whether all of them should be sent back." Do you think Hillary is a fraud? Watch below, read more. http://conservative101.com/sent back. Two-faced Hillary just caught tape saying illegals go /x4sjkp50. Tucker Carlson eviscerates Jennifer Lawrence for blaming hurricanes on President Trump. Hollywood actress Jennifer Lawrence tried to blame Hurricanes Irma and Harvey on President Trump. It is proven through science that human activity, the climate change is due to human activity and we continue to ignore it, and the only voice that we really have is through voting. And we voted and it was really startling, said Lawrence. Tucker Carlson demolished Lawrence for this. You got to kind of wonder though about the press coverage here. I mean, here you have one of the most famous actresses in the world on the eve of what looks like a catastrophe using the storm and the impending human suffering to make a really stupid political statement. You'd think like the press would jump on her, did they? Tucker Carlson asked to his guest Joe Concha. No, you don't see really any coverage outside of any conservative blogs on this because again, you get passes in these situations and I think you have to have empathy for Jennifer Lawrence when you could relate to somebody and feel sorry for them. And look, we could all relate too, said Concha. Tucker, 3 million people at home flying a private jet over to London and getting over the angst of hurricanes that are no threat to you. and blaming a sitting president perhaps for bad karma for creating hurricanes and be able to talk about your job and promoting movies while getting paid seven figures. I think that's something that we could all relate to, said Concha. Being a celebrity is bad for your soul. Have you noticed that? Jennifer Lawrence is not the celebrity taking politics in a weird direction though, said Carlson. Check out the video below. GOP lawmaker exposes message sent to him from pro-abortion activists with a disgusting surprise. The way that liberals devalue human life is disgusting. They are pro-abortion and they are proud of it. At the same time they try to act like they are the caring ones, by doing things such as fighting for people who came here illegally to be able to get away with their crimes. A group of Planned Parenthood supporters sent Republican Representative Larry Buckshot a pro-abortion care package. And what was inside was disgusting. The package tried to argue for aborting babies by using puns and making jokes. There was a bag at the candy Sour Patch Kids. Kids are sweet, but forced birth leaves a sour taste, it says on the candy bar. There was also a bag full of erasers that says you can never erase your votes. Buckshot posted a photo of the letter and wrote an angry reply. This is a package Planned Parenthood advocates delivered to my tarot office yesterday. It's a shocking and disgusting attempt to devalue human life. Regardless of your views on the issue, how can anyone defend this sickening and callous disregard for the sanctity of human life? He wrote. Kylie Carruthers from the National Organization for Women Tarot, Indiana took credit for the letter. The Sour Patch Kids, the most callous, shocking and disgusting item, were my idea. I love candy. They certainly caused a reaction, she proudly wrote. Check out Buckshot's post below. Hillary Clinton exposes the real reason she hates Putin. He sits with his legs open. Hillary Clinton's newest book What Happened makes it clear that Hillary Clinton is done with politics. It will destroy her reputation. It shows how nasty, manipulative, spoiled and hard to work with she really is. One example that shows who she really is when she described her disgust for how Putin sits with his legs open. This is a huge world leader that we are trying to get along with, and Hillary is angry about how he sits. When I sat with Putin in meetings, he looked more like one of those guys on the subway who imperiously spreads their legs wide, encroaching on everyone else's space as if to say, I take what I want. They call it manspreading, said Hillary. Apparently if you manspread, then you're sexist. Putin doesn't respect women and despises anyone who stands up to him, so I'm a double problem. After I criticized one of his policies, he told the press, it's better not to argue with women, but went on to call me weak. Maybe weakness is not the worst quality for a woman, he joked. Hilarious. It makes sense to be upset by someone calling you a weak woman. It doesn't make sense to focus so hard on the way someone sits. This is one of many reasons why people don't like Hillary. Her book is out on September 12. Another Rhino governor just made his state a sanctuary state for dreamer illegals. Republican President Donald Trump had the guts to overturn former President Obama's DACA executive order, despite the protests of some Republican members of Congress like House Speaker Paul Ryan. Now Trump is getting pushback from another unlikely source, Republican governors. Ohio Governor John Kasich, who many believe intends to run against Trump as a moderate in 2020, just told illegal immigrants to come to Ohio. Kasich was recently joined by Republican Illinois Governor Bruce Weiner, who clearly feels that he needs to cater to his blue state's liberal electorate if he wants to get re-elected. Weiner faced a great deal of pressure to help illegal immigrants from Obama's former chief of staff Rahm Emanuel, who is now Chicago's mayor. Governor Weiner just signed the Democrats' Illinois Trust Act into law. The Trust Act makes it so that the state of Illinois will no longer comply with Immigration and Customs Enforcement's detainers unless they have a criminal warrant. Wrote left-wing organizations the National Immigrant Justice Center, Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights and Asian Americans Advancing Justice in a joint statement. This bill will provide an unprecedented level of protection for Illinois' 500,000 undocumented residents who could otherwise enter the deportation pipeline through any simple interaction with police, including a traffic violation or a call to report a crime. Why is this Rhino governor helping illegals when so many Americans need help? Tucker unloads on Liv Jennifer Lawrence, being a celebrity is bad for your soul. One of the weirdest comments any liberal has made yet about the current crop of deadly hurricanes has come from American Hustle and the Hunger Games star, who actually blamed President Donald Trump and everybody who voted for him for the storms. Fox News' Tucker Carlson invited The Hill's media reporter Joe Concha on his show and they talked about Jennifer's dumb statement. Asked Tucker, "Joe, why is it that as people get richer and more famous, sometimes they get sillier or more out of touch? Have you noticed this?" Concha answered, "When you say richer, remember Jennifer Lawrence made $46 million last year." He continued, "Let me give you my prognosis on Jennifer Lawrence. She is obviously suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, or in this case, it's an acute strain, ADTS. And this is a situation where apparently side effects include blaming a sitting president for hurricanes hitting the U.S. mainland during the hurricane season." Said Tucker, "You got to kind of wonder though about the press coverage here. I mean, here you have one of the most famous actresses in the world on the eve of what looks like a catastrophe using the storm and the impending human suffering to make a really stupid political statement. You'd think like the press would jump on her, did they?" Joe answered, snarkily, "No, you don't see really any coverage outside of any conservative blogs on this because again, you get passes in these situations and I think you have to have empathy for Jennifer Lawrence when you could relate to somebody and feel sorry for them. And look, we could all relate, too." Added Tucker, "Being a celebrity is bad for your soul. Have you noticed that? Jennifer Lawrence is not the only celebrity taking politics in a weird direction though. Do you agree with Tucker and Joe about Jennifer's stupid statement? Watch below." Kopernik donates to shocking charity that gathers dreamers and sends them away on planes. Kopernik has done a lot of awful things, but this is one of his most idiotic yet. Kopernik Foundation has donated another $100,000 to DREAM, Coalition for the Homeless, War on Children, and United We Dream, announced NFL insider Adam Schefter on Twitter. "Thank you at Kopernik 7, we will continue to fight back," responded United We Dream's Twitter page. So what's the problem? This charity is rounding up dreamers and sending them on airplanes to Washington, D.C. to protest President Trump. People have long theorized that liberals pay for their protesters. This is that in every way. If you are a dreamer, you get free airfare, food and hotels, all you have to do is protest President Trump. According to their website, Kopernik's money is going to be used for addressing the inequities and obstacles faced by immigrant youth. Over 100,000 members. Current focus: organize and work for immigrant children to keep DACA in force. $10K for upcoming travel, air, hotel, lodging, and ground transportation. United We Dream recently held an event in Washington, D.C. and sent 300 dreamers to lobby to keep DACA. This budget will pay for 7,500 attendees for a similar rally upcoming, says the website. $10K for series of upcoming local gatherings in NY, Court, TX, FL, NM. Facilities rent and security, transportation, food, technology. $5K for text service for the network of over 100,000 members, they write. It pays to be an activist. Eric Bolling finally broke his silence about his son's death. Will you pray for him? It has been a gut-wrenching past few days for former beloved Fox News host Eric Bolling. He first learned this past week that he had been fired by executives at Fox News who claimed that he was a sexual harasser. Far worse, Bolling then discovered that his only son, Eric Chase Bolling Jr., was found dead. 19-year-old Chase has been studying for a degree in economics at the University of Colorado, Boulder. The elder Bolling finally broke his silence and gave a public statement about his son's untimely death. Said Eric via his Twitter account, "Adrian and I are devastated by the loss of our beloved son Eric Chase last night. Details still unclear. Thoughts, prayers appreciated." He then detailed about his son's death, the cause of which is still unclear. "Authorities have informed us there is no sign of self-harm at this point. Autopsy will be next week. Please respect our grieving period." Condolences have been pouring in from Eric's friends and colleagues from all parts of the political spectrum. Wrote Fox News' Geraldo Rivera, "Gut-wrenching news about Eric Bolling, 19-year-old only son Eric. Erica and I weep for the Bolling family. This is horrible, our condolences." Added CNN's Don Lemon, "So awful. My heart goes out to Eric and his family." Posted Fox News' Sean Hannity, "To my dear friend, please know we all love you, we'll be here for you and your family. Will you pray for Eric?" Whoopi just claimed we will never know why Hillary didn't win the election. Despite the fact that the most recent presidential election occurred nearly a year ago, the liberal hosts at ABC's political talk show The View are still discussing the election's outcome as though it was a brand new piece of news that they haven't been able to process yet. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar and the rest engaged in yet another completely pointless discussion rehashing election day 2016, with Whoopi making the claim that we will never know why Hillary Clinton lost. Goldberg began by rambling incoherently, "But let's be realistic. Do you really think she was going to win? Based on everything that the Democrats did when they let Obama, left him out there floating and the flotsam and jetsam and all this stuff that Fox News did and all those folks." Shortly thereafter, Behar chimed in about Hillary, saying incorrectly, "But she did win. She did win." The sympathetic studio audience clapped at this. Conservative Jedediah Bila poured the cold water of reality over the proceedings, reminding them, "She didn't win though because the Electoral College is what determines." Whoopi, of course, cut her off completely and said, "I believe that was not going to happen. The truth of the matter is, if this election happened in any other country the way it happened here, we would have sent people to go and check. To see what was going on." Joy agreed with her, and an emboldened Whoopi continued, "We will never know. We'll never know. We'll never know." Do you think the liberals on The View need to finally get over the fact that Hillary lost? Watch below.